cat in Greenland is going viral after it found out she was pregnant and reacted with a priceless expression that seems to say, "You've got to be kidding me." The pictures were taken by the animal shelter that conducted the ultrasound. The cat named Ula quickly went viral after the pics were posted on Reddit with the caption, "When you find out you're pregnant." And if that wasn't enough big news for Ula, she's also been adopted.
With intern Louie, that's this week's edition of Lola's Lowdown.
I love this.
I do too. What a great idea.
You say this in Switzerland as well?
Yes, oh yeah.
I love the That's why we need to herd cows around here.
June Dairy Month.
That is our time for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, the man accused of hitting a bus full of children with his semi while drunk is in court. We will bring you the very latest.
Crashes continue to happen on one stretch of the interstate. We'll tell you what the Department of Transportation is saying to drivers.
And it is allergy season. We'll tell you what homeopathic options health experts are recommending to those who are suffering from allergies.
This is News 3 at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3. Bail is set for the Indiana man accused of hitting a school bus full of kids outside Lodi last week.
Our Leah Linscheid has the latest from court, and she joins us now in the studio. Leah?
Leah joining us in just a moment. She's following the case of 42-year-old Wayne Murphy, who was in court today. Leah has the very latest. Hi, Leah.
Hi. 42-year-old Wayne Murphy is facing felony charges for that crash along I-39, injuring 26 people in the bus. Now, you'll remember a number of people called 911, reporting his semi was all over the road, driving erratically. Today, Murphy was in court via video conference. Prosecutors say blood tests show he had both opioids and benzoids in his system while driving the multi-ton truck.
This defendant took upon himself to be operating this, what became a lethal type weapon, while he was under the influence of two very strong mind-altering drugs.
The judge gave Murphy a $35,000 bail. He's also not allowed to drive, drink, or have any drugs that he doesn't have a prescription for. The Indiana native also not allowed to leave Wisconsin.
Leah Linscheid with us in the studio. Thanks, Leah. 3
people are in custody tonight after leading police on a chase through Fitchburg, Madison, and Monona. Fitchburg police found a car reported stolen out of North Dakota. They tried to stop it. The car sped away, reaching 90 miles an hour on the Beltline and 50 miles an hour through residential neighborhoods. Multiple agencies got involved following the car in all 3 municipalities. We spoke with some neighbors who said they were comforted that so many police were there.
I guess I feel pretty safe. The fact that we had so many here, that I felt very safe because I felt that we were protected.
Police were able to catch up with the people in the car when it crashed on Stoughton Road in Monona. 2 of the 3 tried to run. One headed toward a school but was cornered and then bitten by a canine. The driver was wanted out of North Dakota for violating probation after allegedly choking a correctional officer and escaping confinement.
There have been at least 5 crashes in the construction zone on I-3990 this week alone.
And that includes 2 that happened in the northbound lane near Stoughton this morning. Our Rose Schmidt joins us now with a message from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Rose?
That's right. Well, first and foremost, they want you to plan ahead and slow down. It's summer in Wisconsin, meaning people heading up north for the weekend. On I-90, the amount of traffic is higher on Fridays and Sundays as people are traveling in and out of our state. A crash this morning on I-90 northbound actually caused a second crash involving a total of 2 semis and 6 cars. It happened near the 147-mile marker, the same stretch of highway that has had several crashes just this week.
You're traveling on the work zone between Janesville and Madison, and you're commuting on that every day, that just being alert in the work zone, don't become complacent to the everyday driving behavior.
An average of 55,000 cars travel through just that stretch alone of work zone each day, and between 30 and 40% of them are semi-trucks. Coming up on News 3 at 6, we will hear from a Wisconsin semi-truck driver on what he thinks is to blame for a number of recent crashes inside of the work zone.
You see that work zone there, and you see all that work going on in the restricted lanes. It is a mess out there.
Yeah, and they're trying to fix it, I think.
Yeah,
and there's a long way to go this summer,
right,
too.
A lot of times, so pack your patience and be careful out there. Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Rose. A Reed's Leesburg woman was arrested last night after she was seen driving the wrong way down a one-way street. Officers stopped 52-year-old Marcella Boyd after she was seen driving south on North Walnut Street, which is a one-way street that only allows northbound traffic. An officer checked Boyd's record and confirmed that she had a revoked driving status and 5 prior convictions for operating while intoxicated. Boyd was cited for 6th offense OWI and operating after revocation.
A man and woman were found dead last night in a home on Madison's east side. Police say they were both in their 50s, found just before 7 inside that home, which was in the 100 block of Harding Street. Investigators say there were no signs of foul play, and the Dane County Medical Examiner will now determine the cause and manner of those deaths. Officials said at this time there is nothing suspicious about that incident.
A Fitchburg man was arrested Thursday in connection with a shooting on South Park Street in April that injured a man. Police say 21-year-old Juwan Wilson was arrested after a joint investigation between the Madison Police Department's Violent Crimes and Gang Unit and the Dane County Narcotics Task Force. It happened on April 21st in the 900 block of South Park Street. Officials say they found a 36-year-old man from Chicago with injuries to his leg that were not life-threatening. Wilson faces a tentative charge of first-degree reckless endangerment.
The State Department of Corrections has reached a legal settlement that calls for the agency to end the use of pepper spray and punitive solitary confinement at Wisconsin's youth prison. The deal would resolve a lawsuit the American Civil Liberties Union and other groups filed last year challenging conditions at that prison outside Irma. The settlement also calls for limiting the use of mechanical restraints and strip searches and appoints a special monitor to ensure the DOC is complying with the terms. The state will pay the ACLU and other groups' attorneys' fees and costs. The groups plan to seek about $1 million in fees and other costs.
For many allergy sufferers, this season feels worse than others, and a lot of people say over-the-counter medications are not working the way they used to.
Experts say it has to do with the snowy April we had. News 3's Amanda Quintana shows us why those symptoms feel more intense this time around.
The birds are chirping and flowers are blooming, making for a beautiful ride through the Arboretum. But not if you're the 1 in 5 people with seasonal allergies. And for many of those, this year is bad.
People that would normally have had a kind of gradual rise in pollen exposure had a fairly sudden exposure to pollen in May, and their symptoms suddenly got worse.
Dr. Mark Moss says this season is pretty unique, mainly because it started a month later than usual. That snow in April is to blame, slowing down pollen release until about 2 weeks ago.
The pollen has been released, the levels are high, and as a result, people are having lots of symptoms.
That sudden onset is sending more and more people to the pharmacy.
Their allergy pills don't seem to be strong enough this year. It seems like the allergies are definitely stronger, I think, and more people are having problems.
Pharmacist Richard Kilmer says when the typical antihistamines like Zyrtec and Claritin don't work, customers are turning to alternatives like quercetin or nettle.
They're not really antihistamines, but they can block the mast cells, which are the inflammatory process that's going on.
Some even taking bee pollen, similar to a vaccine, to get their body to develop an immune response. And during the second wettest May on record, those rainy days cleared the pollen from the air, temporary relief for allergy sufferers, but also helping the plants grow, which means when it stops, more pollen.
Amanda Quintana reporting. Now, although the season started late, we are still on track for the pollen that makes up summer allergies.
State officials have quarantined a Dane County deer farm and a Richland County elk farm after animals on both properties tested positive for chronic wasting disease. The State Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection says the National Veterinary Laboratory confirmed Thursday that a 15-year-old white-tailed doe and a 2-year-old elk cow tested positive. The agency did not say where the farms were specifically located or how the animals may have contracted the disease.
Edgewood High School alumni and officials break ground on a $9.2 million performing arts center today. Many gathered on the Edgewood campus for the groundbreaking ceremony, celebrating both the beginning of construction and the spirit of fine arts at Edgewood. The center will serve both students and community members by providing new performance space.
I just think this is a wonderful day for Edgewood and also for the Madison community because we do have a strong performing arts reputation.
Alumni and students from years past said goodbye to the school's old auditorium before it is demolished. The new Performing Arts Center will feature rehearsal, band, choral, and common spaces. In addition to that new auditorium, construction of the Performing Arts Center is slated to be complete in 10 to 12 months.
Another grocery option for residents in Waunakee could happen in the near future. Village Administrator Todd Schmidt told News 3 the village is in communication with Hy-Vee and Forward Development Group about the possibility of a new development. Schmidt says the store would be near the intersection of Century Avenue and Woodland Drive. The 57,000 square foot Hy-Vee grocery store and gas station is proposed for part of the development. Schmidt says it will probably be a couple of years before doors would open. A plan commission will meet next week to talk about the project.
The Medical College of Wisconsin has given an honorary doctorate of humanities degree to Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Number 12, honored for his commitment to end childhood cancer and blood disorders. Rodgers works with the faculty there and also others in the community. He's heavily involved in the Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer Fund, the MAC Fund. He's helped raise almost $3 million for research impacting thousands of lives. And still ahead on News 3 at 5, police are searching the home of a Massachusetts man after 3 bodies were found on his property.
And 5 NFL cheerleaders are suing the Houston Texans. We'll tell you why when we come back.
And Gary Canalti live from Festa Italia at McKee Farms Park in Fitchburg. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Eric and Susan. Everybody's Italian this weekend. The weather is looking great. The doors just opened for Festa Italia, and I'll tell you what you can expect for the weather this weekend for all your outdoor events in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. And before we go, on Wall Street, stronger than expected jobs numbers send the Dow up 219 points. The NASDAQ added 112. The S&P jumped 29. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Are continuing to search a home in Massachusetts after 3 bodies were found on the property.
Police believe it is the last known home of 40-year-old Stuart Weldon. Weldon was arrested Sunday after a car chase ended in a crash. Police say a woman in the car told officers Weldon had been holding her captive for a month, adding that he sexually assaulted her and beat her with a hammer. Springfield police have been using ground-penetrating radar to search the property.
With that technology, we were able to pinpoint some areas of interest, and we're exploring that by hand and very, very carefully.
Weldon is charged with kidnapping, torture, and sexually assaulting the woman in the car with him. So far, charges have not been filed in connection to the bodies that were found.
The search for a suspected cop killer has ended in Tennessee. This morning, Stephen Joshua Wiggins was captured after a sharp-eyed state trooper spotted him on the edge of a wooded area. Wiggins had been one of Tennessee's most wanted men since Wednesday when Dixon County Sergeant Daniel Baker was found dead in his patrol car. Investigators identified Wiggins as the killer after viewing video on Baker's body camera.
I think he just simply ran off into the woods. He was able to hide for an extended period of time.
The suspect was treated for minor injuries at a hospital after his arrest. He is expected to be booked for murder. Prosecutors are expected to seek the death penalty. 5 former NFL cheerleaders have filed a lawsuit against the Houston Texans, claiming that they were not paid for some of their work and they were subject to unfair working conditions. The 5 women say they were supposed to be paid $7.25 an hour, but claim they were paid much less than that, and they're suing the team. Lawyer Gloria Allred calls it sex discrimination.
Women should not have to put up with being paid minimum wage, while their male colleagues are paid millions of dollars.
The Houston Texans issued a statement saying, "We are constantly evaluating our procedures and will continue to make adjustments as needed to make the program enjoyable for everyone."
President Trump announced his summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is back on. The announcement followed a face-to-face meeting with North Korean Vice Chairman Kim Yong-chol, who hand-delivered a letter from Kim Jong-un. Kim Yong-chol spent 2 days in talks with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in New York, where the 2 sides hashed out details of the summit. The U.S. looking for verifiable and irreversible denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, while North Korea wants economic sanctions lifted.
It'll be a beginning. I don't say, and I've never said it happens in one meeting. You're talking about years of hostility, years of problems.
Kim Yong-chol becomes the most senior North Korean visitor to the White House since Vice Marshal Jo Myung-rak visited President Clinton. That was back in the year 2000.
The prospect of a trade war is becoming a reality as Canada, Mexico, and the European Union announced plans to retaliate against U.S. tariffs that went into effect today. At midnight, the U.S. imposed tariffs on nearly all imported steel and aluminum. The White House says the reliance on foreign metals has become a national security issue. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expressed dismay and vowed to retaliate with tariffs on U.S.-made products.
That Canada could be considered a national security threat to the United States is inconceivable.
President Trump responded on Twitter today, writing, "Canada has treated our agricultural business and farmers very poorly for a very long period of time."
Following 3 days of competition and thousands of words, the country has a new spelling champion.
K-O-I-N-O-N-I-A.
That is correct.
14-year-old Karthik Namani from McKinney, Texas, took home the $40,000 prize. The winning word, koinonia. It means Christian fellowship or communion.
I was watching that last night. It was incredible. Very stressful.
They're unbelievably bright kids,
They are
aren't they?
unbelievable. It's really true. Gary Canalti is at Festa Italia in Fitchburg tonight, and he's watching the weekend forecast. Hi, Gary. Looks great out there now.
It sure does. In fact, the sun is shining. We should see a beautiful evening tonight. And I think much of the weekend will be dry. The only iffy part would be late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. In fact, as we look at the forecast for Festa Italia this evening, while temperatures are in the 70s now, they'll drop off into the 60s later on this evening as skies remain partly cloudy overnight. Now, tomorrow we'll start out with some sunshine in the morning, see more clouds in the afternoon, and there'll be shower and thunderstorm chances from late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night with high temperatures in the lower 70s. Sunday should be a great day, high temperatures lower 70s and partly sunny skies, so a big change from last weekend. Notice how a band of clouds worked its way in from Lake Michigan and then moved out almost to the Mississippi River. This was a lake breeze that basically pushed in across southern Wisconsin and cooled off the temperatures quite a bit as it pushed in. Temperatures in the Milwaukee area are in the 50s, while they're still around 80 near the Mississippi River. But as we take a look at Doppler track, there's no rain from those clouds. We're not expecting any rain until late tomorrow afternoon. See showers and thunderstorms well to our north and west in the Dakotas. As we look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, boy, it's a great evening to be out and about. Our almanac for today shows a high of 77, the low 64. Temperatures made it up to about 77 earlier this morning, dropped off when that breeze front came through. And now as we look at the current temperature, we're in the middle 70s right now. Officially, well, still 77 at the airport with partly sunny skies. Winds, though, out of the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. That's keeping us from getting anywhere near as hot as we were last weekend. Current temperatures, 55 right now in Milwaukee, 84 in Dubuque, Iowa. That just shows you how that lake breeze front has moved on through. To the north, temperatures are only in the 40s near Lake Superior and near 90 by the time you get down to the Twin Cities. But on weather track across the Midwest, you can see showers and a few thunderstorms to our north and west through the Dakotas. That will be here tomorrow night, but those storms will be weakening. The air with the northeasterly wind flow out ahead of it will temper the heat. You can notice out to the west, temperatures are in the 80s and 90s, whereas we're in the 70s. So when those showers and storms move into the cooler air, they'll lose some of their steam. But as we check out future track, first the dew point temperatures, still in the mid-60s in Madison, but notice to the north and east, those dew point temperatures in the 30s and 40s. That's drier air that will also work its way in and keep the thunderstorms from getting too strong around here. 50 for the overnight low temperature with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, look for a high temperature of about 72 degrees. Again, best chances for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow will be late in the day into tomorrow evening. As we check out future track, you'll see that things look pretty quiet for tonight. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures dropping to around 50 by early tomorrow morning. Then for tomorrow, look for the clouds to move in, especially in the afternoon. Shower and thunderstorm chances start to move in west of Madison late in the day with high temperatures in the lower 70s. Tomorrow night, most of the showers and storms in the evening. We start to clear out by early on Sunday morning and should see a nice day on Sunday with high temperatures in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. Rainfall amounts generally about a quarter to a half inch. There could be some localized heavier amounts around an inch in the heavier shower or thunderstorm. But the 7-day forecast calls for temperatures to be in the upper 70s Monday and Tuesday, around 80 for the middle of next week, and then temperatures in the lower to middle 80s as we head toward the following weekend. Not much in the way of rain chances. Shower or thunderstorm chance perhaps Friday afternoon into early Saturday morning. Just a slight chance on Wednesday and Thursday. So again, we're here at McKee Farms Park in Fitchburg for Festa Italia. The doors just opened, started at 5 o'clock tonight. As we check out the times right now, we'll be here until 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, the times are from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And on Sunday, from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. Lots of stuff going on here. There are musical groups. There's dancing. In fact, I was informed that a woman by the name of Katie Letourneau, who turns 101 in about a week, will be dancing up on stage again like she does every year. Unbelievable. But this is a place, you know, just to be out and about. If you like pasta, they have $8 pasta, $5 pasta bowls. So, and a mass on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. before the festivities start. So just about something for everyone. Bocce ball is here. They've got a bocce tournament. So again, if you're out and about, McKee Farms Park, it's on Highway PD, just west of Fish Hatchery Road. It's on the south side. There are signs that will direct you here. $3 to get in. And like I say, lots of family entertainment for the upcoming weekend. Hopefully the rain stays away as much as possible, at least for tomorrow, but the rest of the weekend should be pretty nice.
We'll see if you can dance with that young lady and see if you can keep up with her, Gary. Look at that, there he is, hey, all right. They have some, this is a popular one. They got a lot of great food at this event. So,
bring us back a cannoli, Gary.
Yeah, go check it out, Gary. Good dancing, too. Ahead on News 3 at 5, how a new test could help detect cancer. We'll have all the details when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. A new blood test that can detect cancer is getting a lot of buzz.
Researchers say it can pick up cancer years before a person gets sick. Danielle Nottingham has the story.
It's considered the holy grail of cancer research, a test that can pick up cancer at the earliest stages before symptoms. Now a blood test that measures fragments of DNA shed by cancer cells is being hailed as a step toward that goal.
We found that for about 10 cancers that we can in fact see a biologic signal in the bloodstream, and we call that a liquid biopsy.
Those cancers include breast, colorectal, esophageal, head and neck, liver, lung, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, pancreatic, and ovarian cancer. Study author Dr. Eric Klein of the Cleveland Clinic says it's exciting because many of these cancers currently do not have good screening tests.
These cancers tend to present with symptoms and with advanced stage disease that are hard to cure, and our hope is, with these preliminary results, that this will be the basis of a blood test that allows us to detect these potentially lethal cancers at a much earlier stage when they're far easier to cure.
Next steps are to do more testing on patients. Researchers say a test like this could be available in the next 5 to 10 years. Danielle Nottingham, WISC News 3.
And researchers say in patients with no known cancer, the test was 98% accurate.
Stay with us. We'll have one final check of your weekend forecast when we return.
Get
Finally, at 5, a military widow gives a priceless gift to her infant daughter.
A very special photo shoot has given the newborn child of a soldier killed in action a link to the father that she'll never know. Christopher Harris was killed while serving in Afghanistan just days after finding out he was going to be a dad. But that legacy has given 2-month-old Christian a surrogate family in those who served alongside him. They were there to support his widow, Britt Harris, through her pregnancy. Do not make me cry on a Friday.
Nice way to end the show, though. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 5. We'll be back in 30 minutes with News 3 at 6. Stay tuned. The CBS Evening News is next.